Bună seara, guten Abend. Wish you a warm welcome for our Rendezvous Goethe from tonight. We never had so many guests in our rendezvous, so it's really challenging, but it's also challenging because for the second time in only 1 week, we have at least, I would say, the same subjects and topics. After our discussion with Fridays for Future from last week, we are also talking about, let's say, once we hope Corona is over, the biggest challenge for humanity, it's the climate change, it's what we do against it. And I'm also very lucky to see that, let's hope with the new American president, the climate convention of Paris will be reactivated also from the side of the United States, and we hope that we can act in this way. So I'm here in company of different guests from different NGOs, activists, and I will give you the floor a little bit later to talk about your experience, your work, but also about your cooperation in this project we talk about tonight. It's Earth Speaker. In a minute we will have as introduction a teaser, a film, which will tell you a little bit about this project. Why do we organize this? Because this project was in cooperation with the German embassy here in Bucharest, but in a general way in cooperation between the Goethe-Institut and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Germany, one of the highlights of the EU presidency of Germany in the second half of this year. And it is so important and so symbolic because in this project we wanted to give a voice to kids, to children, to their ideas, hopes, and meanings about our present and our future. And we were very, very lucky that we had a presentation, and it was only online, but it was also with some guests, the day of the German unity on the 4th of October in the new German school here in Bucharest, in presence of the Romanian president Klaus Iohannis and the German ambassador, because this project is meant not only to give a voice, as I said, to kids and children, to youngsters, but also to make sure that their ideas will be told to politicians and to the public. So with this few words of introduction, I ask my colleague to start the film, please.
Bună, eu sunt Pet. Reciclează-mă pentru ca pământul să aibă parte de o viață mai lungă.
Dacă apa este poluată, ea va influența negativ întregul ecosistem.
Zi de zi, mii de animale se neacă cu plastic.
Îndepărtați elasticele cu o foarfecă și aruncați-mă și pe mine și pe elastice la gunoi.
Creați un design inclusiv.
Mi-aș dori să găzduiesc oameni sănătoși care respiră aer curat. Numai tu poți schimba asta.
Willkommen zum Projekt Earth Speaker Loudspeaker. Deutschland hat in der zweiten Jahreshälfte 2020 die EU-Ratspräsidentschaft und hat das Goethe-Institut in Zusammenarbeit mit den Botschaften damit beauftragt, einige große kulturelle Projekte durchzuführen. Dazu gehört dieses Projekt. Und dieses Projekt ist besonders, weil es zeigen will, dass wir den jungen Leuten, den Kindern eine Stimme geben wollen, unsere Zukunft zu gestalten, uns auch zu sagen, was sie sich für die Zukunft, die sie gestalten und leben müssen, wünschen. So geben wir ihnen die Stimme und hoffen, dass viele Nachrichten daraus entstehen, die ein bisschen dafür sorgen, gemeinsam mit den Entscheidungsträgern diese Welt positiv zu verändern.
De când am intrat în grupul Earth Speaker,
Am realizat cât de mult dăunează plasticul și poluarea lumii și sunt mult mai atentă.
Natura începe să se strame ușor, ușor și să fie foarte poluată.
Workshop-urile m-au ajutat foarte mult. Mi-am dat seama de pericolele în care se află animalele și pe viitor o să mă gândesc și o să încerc să fac o schimbare ca să le ajut.
Aș vrea să nu mă mai plimb printre gunoaiele lăsate de oameni în parcuri.
Nu ne mai distrugeți casele și te-ați ocupați numai dacă este nevoie. Lăsați-ne să avem o viață fericită în cuiburile noastre.
Iată, parcul nu este accesibil pentru toți, soluția ar fi asfaltarea.
Obiectele străine pot fi un obstacol pentru oamenii cu dizabilități.
Înainte nu luam în considerare așa de mult cum se simt persoanele care au o anumită dizabilitate și deja am început mult mai mult să mă gândesc la ce e în jurul meu și cum alți oameni nu au șansele pe care le am eu și cum am putea să le facem lor viața mai ușoară.
Cred că am devenit mai aware de ce se întâmplă în jurul meu.
Eu sunt un râu dintr-un parc și uitați-vă la mine cât de murdar sunt, numai pentru că voi nu puteți să aruncați gunoiul în coșul de gunoi.
S-au produs foarte multe schimbări, în primul rând în viața mea de zi cu zi și în modul în care mă uit la natură și la mediul citadin.
Încerc să trăiesc mai sustenabil, să folosesc obiecte reciclabile și să am mai mare grijă de ecosistem.
Natura este viață și chiar ar trebui să o protejăm. Dar niște cuvinte nu ajută pe nimeni, așa că hai să acționăm cu toții.
Ne dorim foarte mult să creștem această comunitate de copii care creează mesaje Earth Speaker.
Avem în jur aliați și cred că împreună putem să facem lucruri foarte bune pentru natura din jurul nostru.
So, thanks a lot for this interesting film, and films like this and products, so to say, like this are made in many different European cities. And initially we wanted to organize a Christmas party, as we did last year, where we also had some actions against the use of plastic, with all the results of our action. But yes, you know, it isn't possible for the time being. But we hope that next year in spring, when weather will be better, we can organize a kind of happening, so to say, around all this. I just will give the floor to our different partners in a minute. The Goethe-Institut team was composed by Cristina Sanfirescu, Cristina Markulets, and by you, Anna Maria Daneș, and you were in charge of the workshops, if I'm not wrong. Yes. Could you just tell us a little bit about your experience with the youngsters and kids during these workshops?
Thank you. It was an amazing experience because they had such a direct feedback. You know, the youngsters are the ones that are telling us what we are doing wrong or good, and the experience working with them was amazing, first of all. Second of all, I want to thank our colleagues because for me personally, this was a life-changing experience, I could say. I received so many information, and my job was to transform this information to be child-proof, to be in a form that they can play with it, they can understand it, and they can receive it perfectly. We had 4 different workshops. We had ecology, we had the city life, we had environment and protection, animal protection. They have chosen their topics. They were there on their own. This was something that they wanted to do. and the motivation in our workshops was very, very high. What I want to say is that they turned from knowing something to know more about these topics and to make a political statement. This was very, very important in this project.
Okay, and was it necessary to make a kind of input to tell them some facts? How did you proceed? Because we had this discussion last week with Fridays for Future, and we identified a certain a certain amount of specific aspects also for Romania. Let's say about wood, for instance, and nature and so on. Did you made an input, or how did you proceed?
Yes, I received the input from our beloved NGOs, because we are friends now. I can say that we have a stronger relationship now. I received this input and I transformed it into these workshops. I want to say that our participants had some information, but they needed a context, they needed a story behind it, they needed facts, and they needed pictures, because when you see a picture that is 1,000 words, they understood what is to be an animal that cannot breathe, or so many examples that we had, the inclusive designs that we have or have not in our city, and this is the biggest input that they had. They saw that the issues are real.
Okay, I see. And last question for you for the moment is, I think we all agree about the necessity of climate change, to stop climate change, and but we don't agree about the measures. So this is maybe the kind of paradox, if you know.
Yes.
So and what the kids and youngsters developed, was it only to say make this better, or are there concrete measures they are proposing?
They received some ideas from the workshops, and then had some of their own. There were let's say simple solutions, because they are children and they see things as they are. I think we as grown-ups tend to see it more complicated than it is.
Yeah. No, but this is how to say, also the essence of this project is that kids, youngsters, they have, how to say, the naivete. And to tell us what has to change without maybe thinking too much about all the hints in reality, so they can say us. And the essence of the project is that they say to politicians, and that they develop strategies and measures to change it. So thanks a lot, Anna Maria, for this cooperation. And I'd like to give the floor to our NGOs, our wonderful partners in this project. And I'm very glad here that you can tell us a little bit more, not only about your the partnership in this project, but also in a general way a little bit about your activities. Let's start in which order? Let's start in alphabetical order. So this is good for everyone, I think. So I would like to ask first of all, Act for Tomorrow, Cesara Jacoban. Could you tell us a little bit what are you doing on the one hand, and on the second hand, what was your role? What you consider as your role in this project, please? You have to unmute your mic.
Thank you for having us. I already did. Is it working? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So good evening, and thank you for having us, and thank you for having us in this project. I'm Cesara Jacoban, and I'm the communication specialist for Act for Tomorrow. Act for Tomorrow is an environmental and civic NGO, and we strive in fields such as environmental protection, ecology, volunteering, and sustainability. We develop projects in fields such as ecological education, collection and recycling programs, sustainability programs, circular economy, but also volunteering projects in water protection and afforestation. And we've been established in 2018, so we are quite a young NGO with just 2 years in the field. But in this time, we've managed to develop over 30 projects and having partners with companies that have been market leaders in their fields. And we also managed to establish working relationship with relevant national and regional public institutions. And we are very proud of our work so far.
Great, but you are a local organization, so it's not the Romanian branch of an international organization, but you're just a local organization, are you? Huh?
Yes. Our association has been founded by Andreea, our president, and we don't have a bigger branch or a regional association. We just started in 2018, as I said, but we saw that especially young kids, young adults, and also many people here in Romania are very interested to contribute to this field and protect the environment as much as possible and get involved in our project.
And are you internationally connected already? Do you have other organizations, other countries you're speaking with, or?
No, not at the moment. For now, we are focusing all our efforts to the local communities and Romania.
Because this is what I underlined when we talked also for Fridays for Future, that we need, I think, maybe for the time being it's good to have a local activities, but we need to be stronger kind of international networking in this field. I'm sure about it. So thanks a lot for your first statement, and I would continue with Iris Popescu and Mihaela Serban, the AMAIS. And for you, because you're two persons, two questions, if you agree, and up to you to see who is answering to which question. You should talk us a little bit, because you have special profile as organization, a little bit about the services you can provide and the benefits. That would be the second question. Which are the benefits of these services, and how do they fulfill your mission, please?
Hello, and thank you for inviting us to take part into this lovely project. We are AMAIS, as you said, Alternative Methods for Social Integration Association. The acronym is in Romanian, AMAIS. What we do is that we create contexts of interaction between able-bodied people and people with disabilities. Our main instruments are space, architecture, and technology. And everything we do is based on the inclusive design principles. We try to fulfill our mission through our services that we can provide for public institutions and private institutions as well. And they are related to consultancy and design, based, as I said, on inclusive design principles or accessibility, but also through our social projects and organizing inclusive events. You've asked us also about the benefits that these services provide and how they fulfill our mission. And we have come to the conclusion that we needed to develop these services because what we do, this inclusive design part that we are doing, working on the built environment and technology, is not very appealing for other people because you can see the results on the long term. So it's not something that can attract donations right away. So we realized that we need to ask people to work with us and not donate to us to sustain our activities and our mission. And that's why we have developed these services on architecture and technology. And these are a win-win situation because public or private institutions can work with us to develop their built environments accessibility or websites accessibility. And this fulfills our mission to create an inclusive society because taking it step by step, we have more chances to actually get there to a really inclusive Romanian society. while they are also sustaining our activity because they work with us. And I also, should we also say something about the impact in the project?
Yes, please.
Mihaela, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everybody. Our main focus for this workshop was inclusive design with emphasis on integration, inclusion, and human diversity. The aim of inclusion design is based on how people feel when using space, equipment, and service. It is far more than resolving technical or functional issues. It is about having your needs acknowledged and addressed with respect and understanding, regardless of level of ability. In our opinion, it was very important for children to become familiar with concepts like inclusive design or social diversity, and to learn to see beyond accessibility, to understand the importance of an harmonious social environment, and to understand how a poorly designed public space, for instance, can generate disabilities for its users, to realize that we are different, and through empathy we can understand each other better. If the first task in inclusive design is to resolve accessibility issues, the overarching goal should always be to make your user feel included and cared for. So it's not just about ensuring the access in a building or in a public space, it's about how the environment treats the people and how it makes them feel. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for these explanations. I will continue and ask Roxana Buzețelu from Micile, Bucurii, to give us some explanations. I apologize for my bad Romanian pronunciation. I'm
Very
just learning the language, but I can still improve, I know. So
Don't worry, my name got spelled wrong or is getting spelled wrong all the time, even by Romanians. So no worries about this. Hi, I'm Roxana. I represent Micile, Bucurii. My project has started almost 3 years ago when, out of pure curiosity about ecology and about living a sustainable life, I have founded an online community on Facebook by its name, Micile, Bucurii. And since then, we have 5,000 members at the moment. And last week, I'm very, very proud to say that I have also founded the NGO for taking actions further. So yeah, I was very happy when Christina invited me to this program, because we also collaborated last year on Christmas, and it was good to see another invitation from your side. And for me, it was amazing to be a mentor for kids in a high school. And I was responsible with discussing with them about sustainability as a big picture, and how to reduce our impact, and how to live a less waste generating life. And I was amazed to see their proactiveness, and they were very engaged, and they were very curious to find solutions and to understand their impact and what they need to do further in order to get better. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Roxana. I don't know, because maybe one question for you, because if people are watching us, how can they join you? Is it the possibility to be volunteer, or yes, to donate certainly, but also to work with you? Is this possible?
Yes, it's possible. The best way they can help me at this point is to get in the communities I have. So just type Micile, Bucurii, and just get involved in the discussions there, because I really think the future is about co-creation and peer-to-peer action. So I would love to see people getting engaged in this. And there in the communities, I also announce any projects that are coming, or and if anyone feels like they can jump in with their help, please do so.
I think this is certainly the same for all the NGOs. which are present tonight here. And I would ask to Cătălina Murariu from Worldwide Fund to give us also some explanations. You are the representative of a worldwide institution, so you have the floor, please.
Good evening, everyone. It's been so inspiring to listen to all the presentation before me, and it's really inspiring to get in touch with the enthusiasm in this virtual room. And actually, I belong to an enthusiastic team of nature lovers that works in Romania, although we do belong indeed to a global organization. The organization is called Worldwide Fund for Nature. The acronym is WWF, and the symbol is a panda. Yeah, so we like to think that our boss is the panda bear. And the mission of the organization at the global level is to stop the degradation of the natural environment and to create a future where people live in harmony with nature. So when we think about maintaining nature and preserving nature, we actually think about people as well, because this is sustainable development. So if you think of the planet as a big puzzle, we'd like to really preserve those pieces of the puzzle where you still have intact nature, because our very life on Earth depends on that nature. Zooming into Romania, Romania is indeed one of the most natural places most valuable natural places in Europe. We like to think of Romania as a green heart of Europe, and especially the Carpathian Mountains are really hosting a wealth of life. This is why I have the Carpathians behind me, because they were the topic of the workshops that we had with the youth from Goethe-Institut. And we namely looked at the way that this puzzle, those natural spaces which apparently are disconnected between themselves, they should actually get back into touch. They should be connected so that wildlife can move freely between the natural places that still exist. The topic of our workshop was ecological connectivity. It sounds abstract. The challenge was to make it concrete and to give a voice to nature through the videos of the Earth Speaker. Thank you so much for having me, and it's been a really exciting experience to work with the children and to uncover this topic, to bring it closer to us.
Thanks
together.
a lot, Cătălina. I've just another question for you. Though you are working for, as you said, global institution or organization, watching you tonight, we could have the idea that women are the future of humanity. Is this something which is internationally this way, that there is more engagement, more activism by women than by young men?
Globally, I would say it's rather gender balanced, but in Romania, indeed, in our organization, we tend to be more women, more ladies are present.
So it's also a kind of emancipation, I think through nature. One question to Anna Maria, because you are teaching often youngsters, kids, also here in the framework of the language courses of the Goethe-Institut. Is there also, could you say there is a certain awareness and interest for these topics more than it was 5 or 6 years ago, or how do you integrate this in your teaching?
This is a growing interest because we are having in our German books this topic as a focus. And there is no language level where we don't speak about environment or sustainability or our day-to-day life to make it more nature-friendly. I would say my students have this growing motivation to know and to do something. And I would say the youngest, 8 till 12 years, are very, very interested, and then the motivations is on a line. Yes, but I find it very important that they are learning and they are speaking about these topics, because me as a student, I didn't had this opportunity to speak out loud and to know these things that were presented in our workshops. So as I said, it was challenging for myself, and I'm so happy for them because they had this opportunity.
Okay, thanks a lot. A last question at the end of this rendezvous, which is a little bit a question I will ask all of you, and you're free to answer or not to answer, because we as Goethe-Institut, also in the network of the European cultural institutes in Romania, we will with pleasure develop other activities in this direction, so to say. Would you have an idea? Would you have a kind of inspiration for us? What should we do? What could we do? Is there somebody willing just to throw us an idea for the next time? Go ahead.
I think it would be amazing if you could convince Olafur Eliasson to have an exhibition here in Romania, because I think kids would really enjoy his installations, which are really interactive and they are based on all your senses. So it could be a really cool empirical lesson of inclusive design.
So we keep in touch about this.
For sure, if you need, you have our contact.
Yeah. So Cătălina.
I really loved the experience of using the software. So putting a face and giving an actual voice to the environment. So it would be a great opportunity for more people to be able to use this app. Just allow it to circulate and give access, if we are talking about accessibility, give access to as many youngsters as possible, because it's a really good tool.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, you are completely right. I think we have to make use of modern technologies, but for good objectives, so to say, in this way. It's the same also for all what is about gaming and things like this. We have to use it in an intelligent way, and I think this could improve many things. So I was very glad to meet you all. I hope we will keep in touch. We will all organize, as I said, certainly next spring, a kind of Earth Speaker party here, yes, in cooperation with all of you, with the German embassy, and I want to thank again the German embassy for the excellent cooperation in this framework, and yes, hope to see you soon again. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Good evening.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for the opportunity. Bye bye.
Thank you.